Hello and welcome to the Daily Dulcinea. Today is August 17th, 2008, and on this day in history in 1908, the first full-length animated cartoon was premiered. Can you tell us more about this, Devin?
Yes, I can, Kate. This was indeed the first full-length cartoon, although it was not necessarily lengthy. It was only about a minute long. It was created by Émile Cohl, who was 51 years old at the time, so not exactly the budding superstar, but this was in France, and basically it, just to describe the appearance of what it looked like, it was black and white, a black background with the drawings, basically a lot of stick figures, and those stick figures were done in white. And basically it was interesting because it was a reverse negative. So when he created this cartoon, it happened to be traditional, like white background and just black marks on that background. But they had the interesting decision to reverse it, so it appears in, when you watch it, and you can watch it on YouTube, and we have a link to that in the article.
Cool.
You can see that it's a really interesting black background with the drawings in white.
Devin, why did he do it? Like, what was this in his background, doing short films, or?
Not necessarily short films, because that technology was still very nascent at the time, and that was more the logical extension of his entire career up to that point. He had been dabbling in a lot of art movements in the late 19th century in France, and one of them was really fascinating, and I think connects to exactly what he was doing in this picture, in this animated feature, which was this group he was a member of called the Incoherents, and it's a pretty funny name, and there were a lot of groups like this at the time, but the one thing that this particular group believed in was that art shouldn't be this lofty, idealized goal. It should be instead just something very primitive, hence the stick figures, right. Something childlike, something that made one think of what it might be, what a dream might be like. So really fantastic. And you see in this 1 minute, there's so much stuff jam-packed into his work that it really feels like stream of consciousness when you're watching it. It's a really interesting piece, and at the end you're just thinking, man, I need to replay this because there's so many things I might have missed out on.
Right. And do you know, so what came from this? Do you know anything about the development of cartoons after that at all?
Well, the technology changed and it became more advanced, obviously. But and by that I simply mean that it became a lot easier to go through the process of, flipping pages or flipping individual cells and doing it over and over again. And they need to make this more efficient in terms of time and in terms of the finances that they were putting into this. Right around the 1920s, they hit a little bit of a rut, simply because full-length action features were taking place where you could prop up a camera and have real people doing the same exact things, and that was more interesting for a while, until, say, the early 1930s, when we had animated features like Snow White, for instance, premiere, and that's when it sort of made a comeback.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your report. That was very interesting.
My pleasure, Kate.
And for more information on the article that Devin just shared with us, please visit us at findingDulcinea.com. And thank you for watching. We hope to see you again tomorrow.